Titanfall 2 is a game with many unique aspects that lend itself to being unlike any other first-person shooter. It has wall running, double jumping, and advanced movement mechanics, but I want to talk about the other side of the game, the Titans. I'm going to go over each Titan, their strengths, their weaknesses, and give them a grade. First thing I want to say is, don't take this list too overly serious. Titanfall 2 is not a competitive game, it is not balanced like one. There's also no active dev support. Each Titan is viable and good in its own way, and it largely depends on who is using the Titan. A good pilot can make the worst Titan great, while a bad pilot will drag the best Titan down with their lack of skill and ability. This list is just my opinion of which Titans, when used by equally skilled players, is generally better. This list is also for the multiplayer only, and I play on PC, so take that into account. While I don't really think it matters as to what platform you play on and how good each Titan is, just take into account that I play on PC with a mouse and keyboard. Alright, well, let's get into this. Tone is a pretty decent Titan. When Titanfall released, it was easily one of the most overpowered, if not the strongest Titan in the entire game. Originally, the cannon was almost hitscan, and the rockets were stronger, but it was nerfed, and now I honestly don't understand why most Titanfall players even complain about Tone. I think it's just a meme at this point, to dog on Tone players. In my opinion, Tone is an A-tier Titan. Tone can absolutely dominate a battlefield with proper positioning and someone utilizing her to her best capabilities, but Tone is a one-trick pony in a lot of circumstances. Tone is best played at a distance or used to control certain choke points of the map. Smart Tone players will find long sight lines, set up their shield, and just go to town. But there aren't a ton of other scenarios where Tone beats other Titans in the game, like up close, Scorch and Ronin wreck her. Far away on open ground, Legion and Northstar probably win. Plus, if you get caught with your shield on cooldown, you're kinda SOL. Oh, Monarch. What can I say about Monarch? This one is kind of easy to be honest. Monarch is the game's only DLC Titan. Respawn added it after the game's initial release in the Monarch's Reign DLC, which, funnily enough, came out years ago, so most players don't even realize that they were not one of the original 6 Titans. Monarch is 100% easily an S-tier Titan. This is one that I don't think anyone will disagree with. This Titan is one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful in the game. Now, let me tell you why that is. Monarch has 2 things that the other Titans don't: upgrades and ease of use. I think Monarch is the easiest Titan to use out of their entire roster. It'll help a bad player score well due to its generally basic kit. It has the Titan equivalent to an assault rifle, and I think it's the easiest primary to use because it's most like what most players have seen in other modern FPS games. Monarch's upgrades also make her an S-tier choice. Most Titans have damage cores that are like ults in other games, basically just help you deal out tons of damage in short periods of time. Monarch instead focuses on improving what she already has. There's no need to manage when to use cores or anything like that. It becomes available, you use it. It's pretty simple. I think damage cores are much harder to use. Not even to mention that once you get your first upgrade core and get the enhanced EXO 16 rounds, you become a nightmare to fight because any sustained fire from the Monarch with enhanced EXO rounds is a death sentence. Then when that same Monarch gets to tier 3, it's likely they're going to be alive for a very long time due to the sustainability buffs. So yeah. Monarch is an S-tier Titan because of ease of use and just the overall strength of her kit. I used to play Monarch pretty consistently when she was first released, and I remember playing in so many games where I stayed in that one Titan the entire game just because of how strong she was. Scorch is admittedly the Titan that I've got the least experience with overall. I've played him a fair bit, but when compared to the other Titans, I've probably spent the least amount of time on him. However, I think I can make a pretty fair evaluation of where Scorch sits when compared to the other Titans based on my time playing him, and maybe more importantly, my time playing against him. What I've noticed about Scorch is that he might be the least played Titan in the game. Unless I'm playing on Complex or Glitch, I almost never see him. Now, I believe this to be twofold. One, he's incredibly difficult to play effectively due to his kit. His kit includes area of effect attacks, one of the hardest primaries to use, and the thermal shield, which is arguably the best part of his kit. Second, this kind of plays off the first reason, but his kit limits his viability on maps with long sightlines. The same exact maps that say Tone or Northstar would be good on would be bad for a Scorch player. Imagine playing Scorch on Homestead and you just see a Northstar or Legion out in the open. You'd essentially be stuck to the sides of the map the entire game. With all that said, Scorch is by far the scariest Titan to play against when that pilot plays them well. It feels like you're staring down the gates of hell itself when a good Scorch player corners you or toasts you or barbecues you or whatever. Scorch probably has the highest burst DPS potential of any Titan in the game. 2 canisters, 1 little line of fire, and a thermal shield, and all the damage stacks as well. You could be taken from a shielded 3rd core Monarch to a pile of scrap faster than you could say Titanfall 3. For all those reasons, Scorch is a B tier Titan to me. It's kind of hard to rate him because when he's played at max potential on his best maps, he is an S tier Titan and probably the best in the game. But when played poorly on maps that are disfavorable to him, he's an F tier. So finding him in B tier is just a good balancing act when considering his strengths and weaknesses and how situational he can be at times. Ronin-chan, Ronin-sun. Ronin is just a flat-out fun Titan. It's every weeb's biggest power fantasy. I used to be terrible with Ronin. Ronin is a Strider chassis Titan and, along with the Northstar, has almost like no health, but unlike Northstar, is required to get right up into the thick of combat to be effective. For a lot of players, Ronin is really hard to learn, but if you learn Ronin, they are really, really hard to kill. Like, really hard. If you ever see a Ronin live longer than 60 seconds after their drop, then you know they have a clue as to what they're doing. At that point, all hope is lost. Abandon ship, leave the game, uninstall, and hide under your covers and hope Ronin does not find you. Ronin's kit is geared toward a hit and run style of combat. It's sort of hard for him to take sustained fire from multiple Titans or pilots, but if Ronin can isolate and get close, he will destroy every single Titan in close quarters. He is very hard to play well, and Scorch is honestly the only match for a Ronin in close quarters. So maps with short sight lines and tight corridors often play favorably to a Ronin player and will allow them the best sort of ambush opportunities. Most of the time where people make their mistakes is not using sword block. If you're not being actively attacked by someone with your melee or shotgun, you should almost always be using your sword block. I would put Ronin as an S tier Titan with Monarch. Ronin is very, very strong, but has a steep learning curve that makes him harder to play than Monarch, but when played well can go toe-to-toe with literally any Titan. I'm going to preface this with one thing. I don't really like Ion, so keep that in mind as I go into my thoughts on this Titan. Ion is a 1-star level difficulty Titan that seems meant to be catered to the new players, as its kit is generally straightforward in nature. Energy powers abilities make you do good things in game. Pretty easy. Ion has a splitter rifle as its main weapon that is really strong only in its secondary fire, but that uses up energy. Ion also has a vortex shield capable of blocking all incoming damage except for melee and fire damage, but eventually that runs out of energy as well. There's also trip mines, which are good to place down in case of a thirsty charging Ronin, but the trip mines are usually pretty easy to destroy, which renders them not very useful. Energy management is the cornerstone to making sure Ion is useful, and you don't get caught with your pants down by a Legion or a Ronin. Now everyone says, oh, well, Ion counters so many Titans, Vortex Shield go burr. Not really. Ion is, in my opinion, a soft counter to Titans like Legion. The Vortex Shield can suck up a Legion's bullets and return to sender, and this is great, but it requires two things, energy and a stupid Legion player who will feed you ammo. Ion's shields are better at catching singular shots of, say, a Northstar, but having to hold up the shield for a long period of time just drains that energy. I don't think it is nearly as effective as everyone believes it to be. The laser shot is by far the biggest positive of this Titan. It does great damage to Titan and is a hit scan, and you can always charge it up for that extra boost. It is the singular best weapon for goosing pilots after the eject, so this is a huge positive for the Titan in my eyes. I give the Ion a B-, and honestly, I want to give it a C, but I don't want to make any Ion mains laser shot my ass. Moving on now. The Legion is basically a minigun with legs attached to it. You don't play Legion to play Legion, you play Legion to use the minigun. This is just facts. Legion was my first Titan main and is terrifying to play against and really fun to use. Legion excels at maps with more open and direct sightlines such as Homestead. Legion players should always position themselves to be able to shoot Titans for a long period of time with no ability for the Titan to escape. Legion has 2 firing modes, really precise, and a spread pattern. So basically long and short range. You can deal a ton of damage at a distance or at close range. And you have a shield and a mega sneeze to help you protect yourself and deal even more damage. That's where the good about Legion ends. Legion is good, yes, but he's also super slow. And aiming your Predator cannon makes you even slower. You become so easy to hit that a toned Northstar or even another Legion can easily deal out tons of damage against a slow Legion. Legion does have a shield. Legion does have a shield to protect them, but honestly the shield does not protect against a lot of damage unless you use the upgrade which blocks double damage. Legion's speed is what makes him balanced, because if you gave a Ronin his kit, that would be broken. Legion has a lot of positives about his kit. When played well, he can be used to control stretches of any map. Legion has one objective and one objective only. He gets an A. The Northstar, my favorite Titan. Northstar is the flying sniper Titan with a railgun. I began learning Northstar about a year ago and mained her once I felt like I learned her kit. Northstar, much like Ronin, has a very steep learning curve. A lot of this is due to the really low health. The plasma railgun is also something incredibly nuanced because it isn't a hit scan, so learning the speed of the shots and how to time them is important for hitting shots on mobile pilots and the weak points of enemy Titans. If you can see a G100 Northstar main, be scared, because Northstar, when played correctly, will wreck lobbies. Northstar can hit Ronins and Scorches running at her for massive amounts of damage before they even can get close. My main issue with Northstar is that if the player isn't paying attention, massive amounts of damage can be taken in seconds. I mean, there's times where I've dropped my Northstar in the wrong place or at the wrong time, and 10 seconds later I'm a pilot again. Positioning is so hugely important that sometimes many Northstar players don't do well. To be fair, it's a very difficult thing to learn. Northstar's learning curve and low health pool make her a much tougher choice out of the Titan list. Northstar gets an A in my book. So that's my list and analysis of every Titan. Again, Titanfall is not a competitive game. It's super unbalanced and the Titans are unbalanced as well, just how it is. So my list isn't some objective numbers list. It's just based on experience and anecdotes. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on the Titans and what your tier list would look like down in my comment section below. If you all enjoyed the video, which I hope you did, consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel. I make a lot of commentary style content on first person shooters and specifically Titanfall. Alright everyone, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.